And at number 10, Piers Morgan. Infamous journalist Piers Morgan might be one of the most outspoken people against Meghan Markle. And there's actually a dating story behind that. It makes the whole thing even more juicy. So apparently Piers asked Meghan out on a date before she was with Harry, of course. And rumor has it that they went out on that date, but Meghan ghosted Piers after. And this could be the real reason that Piers can seem very angry towards Meghan when talking about her. Most recently, after Meghan's explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, Piers did not hold back, trashing her on Good Morning Britain. And before him and the other hosts could even discuss the topic, he went on raging about how the interview's tarnishing the reputation of Britain around the world and hurting everything the Queen has worked so hard for. He also made a point to say that he does not believe a word that she says, so I mean, clearly he's not a fan. And at number 9, Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams trashes pretty much everyone on her show, so I'm not sure Meghan should take it personally, but for some reason, Wendy Williams really hates Meghan Markle and is not afraid to tell the world. When the couple first got together, Wendy said, quote, "There's way too much drama with her and that will not work out." Then when the two did get married and Meghan became a royal, Wendy said on her show that Meghan, quote, "weaseled her way into that kingdom," also calling her the, quote, "Duchess of Malibu." Then when Wendy was talking about the documentary Harry and Meghan: An African Journey, she spoke about how Meghan was warned that she should stay away from Harry, as the tabloids would ruin her whole life. But apparently Meghan didn't believe this. But Wendy didn't buy that and said, quote, "Yes, you did. You knew exactly what you were doing. Please don't try to garner sympathy from us." I guess insinuating that Meghan knew exactly the kind of press craziness that she was getting into. And at number 8, Katie Hopkins. Katie Hopkins is a well-known British writer who has made it very clear that she hates Meghan Markle. She once coined Meghan as the, quote, "American Kate Middleton," and, quote, "a budget princess die with an Oscar-winning innocent face." Hopkins even went on 60 Minutes to talk about Markle, who described her as a, quote, "nobody who, quote, wears bad clothes," plus agrees with some other haters who are calling Meghan a hypocrite. She even once clapped back at a tourist defending Meghan. When the tourist told her, quote, "there's nothing wrong with Meghan," Hopkins replied, quote, "but then there's nothing right with her either." And at number 7, Chrissy Swan. Chrissy Swan is an Australian TV personality that has been outspoken critiquing Meghan Markle. Chrissy first made comments about Meghan on Facebook, following news of the royal engagement between Prince Harry and Meghan. She wrote, quote, "For some reason, I still haven't warmed up to her," adding that she felt Meghan was still acting while she was out with Harry, saying that the humility that she showed was all just an act. While a few people agreed with Swan's opinion, others were mad, calling her a bully and saying that they were, quote, "very disappointed by her comments." And at number 6, Trevor Engelson. So if you don't already know who Trevor Engelson is, he's actually Meghan Markle's first husband. And for the most part, he's actually been pretty respectful to Meghan's privacy and hasn't commented publicly about her. But that doesn't mean that comments he made in private about her haven't been leaked to the public. Royal biographer Andrew Morton is the one that spilled the beans on Engelson's feelings towards Meghan. In his book called Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, the author portrays Trevor's alleged dislike for his ex-wife. In the book, the author reveals that Engelson initially loved being married to Meghan, but later felt like nothing to her, which was confirmed to him when Meghan allegedly mailed her wedding ring back to Trevor out of the blue after 2 years of marriage. Halfway at number 5, Erin Foster. Erin Foster is the daughter of musician David Foster, as well as a writer and performer. She's another person that is known for blasting celebrities online, with Meghan being one of those people. In November of 2017, Erin posted a photo of Meghan from her Deal or No Deal days and captioned it, quote, "never forget," which is definitely some subtle shade. Then, just to make sure her followers would not forget, she posted another picture of Meghan with a briefcase and added an even harsher caption that read, quote, "this briefcase is filled with my plans to be famous." So it's clear that she just thinks Meghan is a clout chaser hungry for fame. And at number 4, Prince Andrew. Now we're getting into some of the people in the royal family who are not too fond of the Duchess. Apparently, a source said that after she got engaged to Prince Harry and went to speak with his family, Prince Andrew was not very kind to her, while Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were warm and welcoming. The source said that his difference in behavior with Meghan compared to the other royal members was very noticeable. I would assume even to Meghan herself. He definitely did not say or do anything rude. However, we all know that a person's tone can really say so much. And at number 3, Kate Middleton. This one is a little heartbreaking if it's true, but it's widely speculated that Kate Middleton and Meghan do not get along. And these rumors were made worse by Meghan's Oprah interview. But this all could just be speculation from the fans of each of the women, as now that Kate finally has some competition for the love of the people in Meghan, the fans of the two women seem to be battling it out on social media. But it also seems that new info we are learning from the palace is fueling the divide too. Like the fact that Harry and Meghan moved away from William and Kate at one point, or the fact that the brothers' joint staffing agreement was recently ended, with people thinking Meghan is the reason for this new divide between William and Harry. There was even a rumor that Meghan made Kate cry at one point. However, Meghan revealed in the Oprah interview that it was actually the other way around. However, Kate apologized to Meghan, and Meghan seemed to genuinely accept it in the interview. And at number 2, Katy Perry. So this is a random one, but singer Katy Perry threw some serious shade at Meghan's way after her wedding. When the American Idol hosts were all asked about Meghan's dress, Katy replied, quote, "I would have done one more fitting. I'm never not gonna tell the truth. One more fitting, but I love you." But that's not all. Perry added on after, quote, Kate won, clearly referring to the fact that Kate had the better dress. But Kate Middleton's Alexander McQueen dress was stunning, I can't even lie about that. And since that was a common sentiment around social media at that time, especially about the dress not being altered properly, most people did agree with Katie. And at number 1, Princess Eugenie. Princess Eugenie is another member of the royal family that many believe does not like Meghan. Apparently, the main reason for the spat is that when Harry and Meghan announced their engagement, Princess Eugenie actually had to push back her own wedding because of it. An insider said the princess was extremely unhappy about having to push back her wedding date due to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding, as the princess and her fiancé were supposed to get married in September of 2018, but were forced to postpone it because of the royal wedding. Princess Eugenie also reportedly hated Meghan for choosing St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle for their wedding venue, since it was Princess Eugenie who wanted that venue first. She did get married shortly after, but obviously her event was very overshadowed.
Starting us off at number 10 is Elton John. It's been more than 20 years since Ellen first came out as a lesbian, but she still holds on to that moment and opened up about a shocking story. During the period that followed her shocking news, she received a ton of backlash for it, and one person who had a lot to say about it was Elton John. When he did an interview and they asked him about his thoughts on the news, he said, I quote, "Shut up already, we know you're gay, be funny." Elton too is gay and admits that everyone at that time was talking about it and he was just getting kind of sick of it. He wanted her to focus on her role as a comedian and less about her sexuality. It was still a little harsh. I mean, we gotta be honest. I feel like there's a better way of saying that. They seem to work through their issues now, but there was a time when tensions were very high. Up next, number 9 is Wendy Williams. Their issues with each other seem a little petty and has always remained in their professional lives, not so much in their personal. Even though Wendy has been on Ellen's show a few times, Wendy's never invited Ellen on hers. Wendy's often blamed for using harsh words and expressions on her show against Portia de Rossi, who happens to be Ellen's wife. Even when Portia first came out, reports say that Wendy approached her on the red carpet and asked her to comment on the recent story going around that she was getting close with a woman in a jacuzzi. Portia was not open about her relationship with Ellen during that time, and apparently Wendy knew about that. So since then, the two of them have taken shots at each other during interviews. Sometimes it seems like a joke, while other times it's kind of hard to tell and it just leaves like this awkward tension. Kind of like the time when Wendy told Ellen that people think that she looks like Justin Bieber. She's not wrong. That meme does go around the internet, but still a little awkward. Rolling into number 8 is Piers Morgan. Ellen swears that she was just being funny when she tweeted out a birthday message for Katie saying, "Happy birthday, Katie. It's time to bring out the big balloons." But it was followed by an image of Ellen gawking and staring directly at Katie's breasts. Fans were not impressed with the tweet and said that it was a double standard, which then sparked double standard to start trending as a hashtag on Twitter. Even fellow celebrities joined in to use the hashtag, and Piers Morgan was one of them. He was furious with her so-called joke and tweeted out, "If a man made this joke, Ellen would lead the cries of sexist pig." He was very passionate about this. I can feel his anger with that tweet, but you know what? I understand. I totally get where this whole double standard thing is coming from. Sliding to number 7 is Kim Burrell. People actually had Ellen's side on this one because Kim made a statement that was super offensive to the LGBTQ community. During a sermon at her church in Houston, Texas, she referred to homosexuality as the perverted homosexual spirit. After the video footage went viral online, Ellen banned her from coming to the show. She was actually supposed to sing on her show alongside Pharrell Williams later that week, but Ellen tweeted, "For those asking, Kim Burrell will not be appearing on my show." Kim posted a response video and said she makes no excuses or apologies for her comments and said that she was simply saying that homosexuality is a sin in her religion. She said she does not hate people of the LGBTQ, but said that it goes against the nature of God, which she obviously is very passionate about. Moving on to number 6, we have Giada De Laurentiis. Now, it could be Giada because it's very Italian, so I'm probably butchering it. For years, she has been sharing her cooking secrets on the Food Network, and if you've watched her show, then you know that she always pronounces different Italian food with an Italian accent. But she did a cooking segment on Ellen's show where she whipped up some pasta for her, and Ellen started poking fun at her for her pronunciation. Giada was not having it, so she gave Ellen a tutorial on how to properly say penne and spaghetti. She should probably give me that tutorial because I'm sure it sounds very different. This isn't the first time that there's been this awkward tension between them. She actually went on her show in 2017 where she made food for Ellen and Nicole Kidman, and they both kind of made these negative comments and jokes about her so-called bad cooking. And when you do that as your profession, it's definitely insulting. You never insult the chef on live television. Halfway through at number 5 is Sherri Shepherd. She has a personal issue with Ellen because she was banned from her show due to her evolving stance on gay marriage. Keep in mind the word evolving. The comedian appeared on the first season of Ellen but was banned after she made comments on The View saying that she was once against gay marriage. Sherri had nothing bad to say about Ellen, but she's very hurt with her decision to not invite her back on the show. She said, "The views and thoughts that I had evolved from the statements I had on The View over 10 years ago, and I now support same-sex marriage and partnerships." People were quick to call Ellen a hypocrite for always claiming that she can be friends with people who share different views than her. Coming in hot number 4 is Benjamin Simon. The famous TV writer made bold claims on Twitter saying that Ellen is not very nice to her coworkers and employees. He exposed different stories from her show and said that, I quote, "She has a sensitive nose, so everyone must chew gum from a bowl outside of her office before talking to her. And if she thinks you smell that day, you have to go home and shower." Quite the accusation, right? That was just one example. He actually tweeted out 5 more after that. For the sake of this video, I will not read out all 6 of them, but even the first one is enough to know that he does not think too highly of her, especially if he is willing to expose her like that, or try to expose her like that, if it's true or not. Alright guys, we made to number 3, and we have Jameela Jamil. The actress got into messy Twitter drama involving Ellen back in 2019 after Ellen was seen buddying up with George Bush at a Dallas Cowboys game. At first, Jameela applauded Ellen for her speech on accepting everyone despite their beliefs, and said that she was actually impressed with how she handled it. But then she took all of her tweets back after learning more about the former president and tweeted out, "What a monstrous leader. I now understand the rage." So she was once backing up Ellen's decision to be friends with him, but then she was quick to join the rest of the world who was furious about it. In spot number 2 is Liza Minnelli. Back in 2014, Ellen was the host of the Oscar Awards, and during her opening monologue, she cracked jokes about Liza, who did not find it all that funny. In her speech, she said, "Hello to the best Liza Minnelli impersonator I've ever seen." And then, as the cameras panned over to Liza, who was in the audience, Ellen said, "Good job, sir." Of course, Liza would be upset by that. She later told TMZ, "I think Ellen thought it would be funny, but she never stopped after she said it and said, 'My friend, Liza Minnelli.' I think it went a little astray on her." She didn't have any rude comments to say about Ellen and said that she always thought Ellen was wonderful, but the joke was a little too far. That is how you ruin friendships, Ellen. Winning first place on our list is Eric Trump. I thought that putting Donald Trump at number 1 would be too obvious because it is no secret that Ellen despises him and that they've been very open about their feelings towards each other. They're not friends. Turns out though, like father, like son, Eric Trump doesn't like her either. Back in 2018, he made a very unusual claim on Twitter. He shared a screenshot of his Twitter follow suggestions, which read Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Ellen. He hashtagged it #DeepState, which refers to this conspiracy theory that there's a secret group of people who coordinate efforts to try and delegitimize the Trump administration. Ellen banned him from coming to her show, not that he would be invited, and did what she does best in response to all of it. She made jokes about it. Beginning the countdown, number 10 is Chrissy Teigen. Probably the most obvious one on our list since her Twitter feud with the president went down in Twitter history. She openly admitted that she and her husband John Legend made it their mission to get people to see how psychotic Donald Trump is. Over time, she has tweeted out a handful of tweets against him, calling him a twat and a monumental asshole. The president fired back at one point, calling John Legend a boring musician and said his wife Chrissy is filthy-mouthed. It didn't seem like those words hurt them by any means, but Chrissy stood firm on getting her point across. In one tweet she said, "I will never stop talking about how horrible Donald Trump is. Even after he loses, I will set an alert to my phone to remind me not to stop." So she's on a mission, to say the least, but he didn't lose. Sorry. Up next, number 9 is Chris Evans. The actor wasn't happy about Donald getting elected to be president, and when that moment happened, he had something to say about it. He tweeted out, "This is an embarrassing night for America. We've let a hate monger lead our great nation. We've let a bully set our course. I'm devastated." And then, just a few weeks later, he tweeted a response to the third political debate and said, "Donald displayed everything I expect out of a 5th grader." They didn't really have any beef with each other prior to the election. He was just really against the idea of letting a guy like him run for president, let alone get elected. Cruising into number 8 is Taylor Swift. She's also had a very long feud with the president, and we actually got a behind the scenes look at it in her Netflix documentary, Miss Americana. In her documentary, she explained that because of her position and platform, she's always been encouraged to keep her mouth shut when it comes to her political views. But she finally felt that it was time to speak up, and even after her whole team argues against it in this documentary, she sent out a tweet voicing her opinion. And since that moment on, she's been very open about her views, with the plan to get him voted out this November. She lashed out on the president this past May in 2020 and said, "After stoking the fires of white supremacy and racism your entire presidency, you have the nerve to feign moral superiority before threatening violence. We will vote you out in November." Within hours, the tweet actually had millions of likes, and it's made it her most liked post on Twitter in her entire career. Coming into number 7 is Robert De Niro. There was a video released through anonymous content where the actor went off about Donald Trump and did not hold back in the slightest. In the video, he said, "He's so blatantly stupid. He's a punk, he's a dog, he's a pig, he's a con, a bull artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't do his homework, doesn't care, thinks he's gaming society, doesn't pay taxes, he's an idiot." That is a lot. That's like 1,800 sentences in one. He even went on to say that he would like to punch him in the face. The biggest issue he has with him is that he just doesn't take him seriously as a president. He called him a fool and a bozo and basically just said he doesn't know what he's doing. Obviously, I don't think any of us really expected him, like in the entire world, for him to become president out of all people. I honestly thought Kanye West would run for president before he did. Sliding into the number 6 spot is Amy Schumer. The comedian is known for having very controversial content in her stand-up comedy shows, and one of the topics was President Trump. She went in hard on him, and some of her comments actually caused over 200 people to walk out of her show. In her performance, she called him, I quote, "an orange sexual assaulting fake college starting monster." Some people were actually infuriated with her comments and thought that they went too far, so they walked out in the middle of her show. After that, she realized that she may have to tone down those kinds of comments in future shows. In a show after that one, she talked about Trump winning the election and simply said that she's going to have to learn how to speak Spanish because she is moving to Spain. Halfway through number 5 is Sophia Bush. Since Trump's election, she has been one of the most vocal celebrities holding him accountable for his actions and sharing information to help others stay informed and active with making a change. One of her most iconic posts came after he made comments about women, telling one of them to dress like a woman. She posted a side-by-side collage of her in a dress and then her dressed up in combat gear and wrote a long caption about her opinion. Her caption wrote, "You know what both of these ensembles have in common, Mr. President? The woman wearing them. How about you try to not run the country into the ground instead of trying to dictate what the women in the White House wear to work?" People completely had her back with this post, and she wasn't the only female who has been bothered by these comments, like in the first place. I'm sure no women appreciated that comment. We've made it to number 4 and we have Matt Damon. He's not the type of person you would probably expect to see on one of our lists. He's always remained out of the Hollywood drama, but when it came to the new president, he had things to say. He wasn't as harsh as some of the other people on our list, but he still was not a fan of the idea of having Trump as the new president. The actor said, "Trump makes me nervous. There's no way we can let this guy be the president. To let that dude have the nuclear football, are you kidding me? That's dangerous. He's impulsive and rash and doesn't seem to think deeply about too many things." Now honestly, this was one of the nicer comments that he made about him. In other interviews, he started to call him dehumanizing and disgusting. So he's not a fan, to say the least, and he probably did not get Matt Damon's vote. In the 3rd spot on our list is Ellen DeGeneres. She's made her opinions very clear on her show to a point where she refuses to have him on her show. Ellen had Megyn Kelly on her show for an interview and asked her if she would ever have the president on her talk show, to which she said yes, because she said she would never turn down an interview with the President of the United States. But then she returned the question to Ellen, who said that she would not have Donald Trump on her show. She said, "For me to have someone on the show, I have to at least admire them in some way. And I can't have someone that I feel is not only dangerous for this country and for me personally as a gay woman, but to the world. He's dividing all of us. I just don't want him on the show." This is all just assuming that he would even go on her show, which I don't think he even would. I don't think he cares. She did have Barack Obama on her show though. Taking over number 2 is Cher. This one doesn't surprise me at all because she's always been a badass who speaks her mind when she feels like it. She was in vote for Hillary Clinton during the campaign, so Trump was obviously the arch-enemy. She's made a variety of wild comments about him, saying she would rather chew glass than support him. During a speech she gave at a Hillary Clinton fundraiser, she said, "He's so Patty McCormack. A consummate liar, doesn't care who she hurts, insane, a sociopathic narcissist. I just wish he'd fall off the face of the earth." On top of that, she's made comments like saying we should throw Trump into a volcano, and also said that if he was going to be elected, she would move to Jupiter. So it looks like Cher now lives on Jupiter. Earning the number 1 spot is Billie Eilish. Definitely the youngest person on our list who's been so vocal about her hatred towards him. The 18-year-old singer recently released her newest song called My Future and performed it at the Democratic National Convention, where she started by saying, "You don't need me to tell you things are a mess. Donald Trump is destroying our country and everything we care about. We need leaders who will solve problems like climate change and COVID, not deny them. Leaders who will fight against systemic racism and inequality." She posted a video message to her Instagram page where she encouraged people to go out and vote, and not only get him out of the way, but to vote against him and vote for Joe Biden. Pretty impressive, I'm not gonna lie, for an 18-year-old to step up and use her platform to try and make a change that she feels is needed.